Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of TCG Talk. Back today with another video. Today's video, I'm actually doing it again. I originally did this video yesterday, and I was going to post it today, and I had already in the queue in YouTube and everything. And I did a tier list, and I didn't do a tier list like best hero to worst hero. I kind of did like, what's the best deck? What's the most versatile deck? Whatever. And after I did the video and I posted it, and it was waiting to be posted today, I just thought that I didn't like the video as a whole, even after I did it, because it's so hard to say what decks are good and what decks are not good, and what deck is versatile and what deck is in the dumpster or whatever. Because I think right now with the Briar ban and with Everfest about to come out, us saying anything when it comes to like what's good, what's bad, what's going to be good, what's going to be bad, is just kind of dumb right now. I would rather wait for Everfest to come out, but I still wanted to do kind of a tier list and just talk about it a little bit. So I decided to change up the tier list and go over like what decks, how are the decks going to change or react going into Everfest, right? So like if you look at my tiers right now, like what decks are going to be solid no matter what, like no matter what comes in Everfest, because every hero is getting supported no matter who comes or what comes, like who's going to be good no matter what comes of it, right? Who has the most to gain from Everfest, right? What deck right now may not be the best, but they kind of have the most to gain or the most love to get and kind of change where they shape in the meta. On the other side, what deck has the most to lose from Everfest? What could kind of alter the meta enough to where it might make that deck not as good anymore? And then finally, what do we not see changing no matter what? Like, no matter what cards they get, are they going to kind of stay where they're at? Um, so on and so forth. I think it's more fun to look at the decks in this way going into Everfest, since Everfest is really fun and cool to talk about. And we've already seen some cool spoiler cards and some new heroes, so it's going to be fantastic. So I'll go through these. I tried to label them from like most recent heroes to oldest heroes, so we'll go through this. For me, starting with Oldheim, I think Oldheim's going to be solid no matter what. Oldheim's one of the best heroes already right now, and with the Briar bands, he might be the best hero, arguably. He has really good ice cards, really good earth cards. He has good guardian cards he can choose from. He has insane cards like Terra Sunder. I think no matter what he gets in Everfest, he's going to be solid. I think he's going to get better because we saw the new ice elemental wizard hero, and I think that means we're going to get some solid ice cards. At least I hope so. So I think he's just going to continue to get better. But no matter what happens, I think he's going to be solid. I think his place in the meta is going to kind of stay for the foreseeable future. For for Briar, pre-ban, like before the bans came out, before the Ball Lightning ban came out, before her errata came out, I would have probably put her in like solid no matter what. But right now, I actually see she has the most to gain, or one of the most to gains of some of the decks, right? Because with Ball Lightning being banned, I think hopefully there's more Lightning cards. I think she has a couple whistles coming, possibly. That's why they did the Ball Lightning ban. Because like we talked about this in the last video, but the Ball Lightning ban for 30 seconds here doesn't really make sense. The card was not fundamentally broken. It didn't fundamentally alter the purpose of, and the base rules of the game. It just didn't make sense. Um, my only way of thinking is when they were looking at Briar really hard, maybe they saw something in Everfest that was going to break Ball Lightning. That's my complete 10 hat theory guess. So because of that, I think she has the most to gain. I see Ball Lightning eventually getting unbanned like down the road. That's near here nor there. But I think she has a lot to gain in Everfest with a couple new toys to kind of replace what she just got banned. But we'll have to see when Everfest comes out. For Lexi, she's kind of in the middle of these two, right? I think she's more trending to solid no matter what. I think she's one of the top decks, similar to Oldheim, especially Ice Lexi. Lightning Lexi got her a little bit with the Plunder Run band, not Plunder Run, but with the Ball Lightning band. But Ice Lexi, I think, is super versatile and fun and a great deck. It doesn't suck. It's hard a little bit against Oldheim, but it's really good against any aggro deck. Even mid-range to aggro decks are having trouble with it. So I think she's in the solid no matter what. But with all the ice cards or some of the ice cards coming, I think she could also gain a lot out of Everfest. For Chain, um, I'm gonna put him and don't see much changing personally. I think the Plunder Run ban obviously hurts Chain a lot for those swing turns. And I think it's gonna hurt him a little bit, but I don't know. I just think Runeblade cards, I think he's going to get some good Runeblade cards. He's obviously probably going to get cards specific to him. However, I don't think a lot's going to change with him. I think he's still going to have a good place in the meta, and I don't see him going like super high or super low. So I don't see much changing with him, to be honest with you. But I could be wrong. It's gonna be cool to see. For Prism, I think she has in the most to lose category, and it's not because how do I explain this? She's already in a good spot, and with the Briar bands, I think she's even in a better spot. I just don't see how you make her a whole lot better. Um, and the problem is the reason I think she has the most to lose is because you're gonna have other heroes that are getting better and better and better because of their cards coming out in Everfest. And I think with her, like if she doesn't get a lot better cards, she's gonna go back to where she was pre Briar Band, where she's just not as good. Um, so I think she has the most to lose if she doesn't get the cards she needs to keep up with the meta. And I think you could see her falling into like the lower middle tier of decks, back where she was pre Briar Band. So we'll see how it goes, but I put her in the most to lose category. For Dash, I think she's in the most to gain category only because it's weird. So she has the most to gain because I think Controlled Ash is going to come back a little bit with Briar being gone. However, I still think Controlled Ash is a little just not proactive enough to be good right now. Honestly, I'm going to put her in the don't see much changing. However, she could gain a lot from Everfest and get some good Mechanologist cards. Out of all the classes, I think there's three classes that are going to have the most classes that have the most to gain. One is Mechanologist. They haven't gotten a whole lot lately since Crucible. Or they had Monarch, not Crucible, gosh, Monarch. But I think she's gonna get more cards. I think it's gonna help her, but also I don't see her changing a lot in the meta. Like I think she has a lot to gain from these new Mechanologist cards coming out, but I don't think she's gonna change very much from it, right? The other two classes I see having a lot to gain are Ninja and Wizard, because Ninja and Wizard have gotten very little love since Crucible, if any. So I think they have a lot too. But I put her in the don't see much changing. I think she's going to kind of stay in the same meta. She might get some cool bells and whistles that give her different ways to play, but I don't think it's going to change her much in the meta. For Bolton, same thing. I'm not a people that watch my content know I don't like Bolton. I think Bolton's very one dimensional, extremely one dimensional. Um, maybe he is in the most to gain. I'll try to hold my biasy because right now he's very one dimensional. I think he needs some new toys in order to kind of delineate his strategy up a little bit and make him harder to play against. So I'll put him in the most to gain category. He is in the most to gain because right now I think he's just, unless you're playing him perfectly and you get those insane saber swing turns, I just don't think he's really good right now. So he definitely has a lot to gain. Azalea, most to gain, right? Although I don't see much changing with Azalea, I don't think she's going to get a whole lot better, but she has the most to gain. Azalea is very fun to play, but not very competitive. And I think, getting her some more cards would definitely help her out in that category. Um, for Kano, he's honestly the number one most to gain out of all the heroes. Wizard's kind of the one everybody thinks is going to get a lot with the new Wizard coming out. Maybe he'll get some more Wizard cards that they're going to help him. Everybody's hoping, so not everybody, a good amount of people are hoping that Kano gets better so he's viable and constructed, at least consistently viable. So I really hope that he does better, but he's definitely one of the top most of the game. For Viscera, this might be a contentious one. Please don't hate me. I'm putting him in the most to lose category. The reason I'm doing that is because Viscera is arguably the best deck in the format right now. You can't argue to put him in solid no matter what. He's going to stay solid, but if these decks, right, like Briar and even Lexi Oldheim and Chain and stuff like that get better cards, and even like the Brutes get better cards, then Viscera is going to go back down to where everybody keeps saying he's a good deck, but he doesn't do well, right? I think Viscera is finally in a spot where like people aren't just saying he's good, like he's actually going to be good and show it. I'm hoping that the Australian Nats, even though they're not using the Briar bands, I think he's going to show up a little bit. But he has the most to lose because if these decks get better and he kind of stays the same, he's going to go back into obscurity. So I think he's going to struggle a little bit, and he has the most to lose from Everfest if he doesn't get the right cards to keep up with the meta. Because if they all get better and he stays the same, he's going to go back to one of those decks that's hard to play. You have to have really good decision making, and people don't want to play him, so he has the most to lose. For Levia, she's in the most to gain as well. I'm gonna have a lot in the most to gain because I think a lot of heroes have a lot to gain in the supplemental set. But her and Ryan are both. I'll just go ahead and put them together. Brute in general has a lot to gain. Brute right now is very fun to play, can push insane damage, especially Rhinar with his Blood Rush, Bellow, Barrage, and beatdown turns where you basically can only block with one card and he's hitting you for 20. But both, just the Brute class in general has a lot to gain. from this, and I'm really excited to see where Brute goes. I won't go too in depth, but I think Brute has a lot to gain from this set. From Bravo, I don't see much changing with Bravo. I think right now Oldheim's just a better Guardian. I know this is Everfest. I know this is Bravo, right? I mean, Bravo is the person. So Bravo honestly should have the most to gain, right? But for me, I don't see much changing. I think he'll have cool, unique, different cards. I think this set's going to cater to him a little bit because it's him. Like this is his carnival, and I get that. I'm talking about in the meta, even with these cool toys, I don't see Bravo changing. He's still a solid deck, still a top deck. I'm not saying he's a bad deck. I just don't see his place in the meta changing. I just see him getting new toys and kind of staying the same as far as where he's at. For Drinthia, she has so my brain's in two ways, right? Part of me wants to put most to gain. I think she has a lot to gain because she just kind of fell off with the outside the occasional like crazy Drinthia player you see. I think she has most to lose because similar to Viscera, she's kind of gained a little bit more popularity and a little bit more viability in Classic Constructed. But if all these decks get even better and better, and she doesn't get the toys she needs to keep up, it's gonna get really bad. And I think she's gonna turn into like one of those worst decks where in constructed it's gonna be really hard to keep her viable. So I put her in the most to lose category simply for that, because if she doesn't get what she needs, she's gonna fade into like just obscurity. For Katsu, the bias in me has actually it's not bias. So it's two sides. I don't see much changing. I think he's going to be still one of those. He's like always the number one two-tier deck, right? You always have the top decks, like the 2 or 3 top decks, like Chain, Prism, stuff like that, and then the number one deck right under the top meta decks is always Katsu. So I think he's going to stay in that meta. I think he's going to be like the number one solid deck, but he also has the most to gain because right now he has the McGinty line, right? He has the leg tap line. He has the open the center line if you want to run that one. I don't like that one as much. He has torn tempo into rushing river. He has soulweed strike into crane dance, right? And then in a fine center. But if you can get a couple more like unique combo lines that also do like different things other than just on hit effects, I think he has a lot to gain from this set. But we'll see. I want Ninja to get a lot of support, but I think Ninja personally is going to get the least amount of support because I think they're going to go with either Volcor or Mysteria next for the sets. And if they go with Mysteria, that means Ninja's going to get all the love, which means he probably doesn't get as much love in this. Whatever set they're going with after this, I think that's who's going to get the least quote, quote, love because they're working on the next set. So if it's Volcor, Wizard might not get as much as you think, but me seeing a new Wizard hero makes me think they're going to go with Mysteria, but we'll see. But yeah, this is how I want to do a tier list. I think it's really fun. I think that the ice heroes in general are just going to stay good. I think all these heroes have a lot to gain from Everfest to do well. Pre-Briar band, I think she would have been in the don't see much changing or solid no matter what. But with the bands, I think you put her in most to gain. Most to lose, I think, is Prism and Viscera definitely, but Drinthia for even a more dire mean. If she doesn't get what she needs, I think she's just going to fade into like the D tier of decks. And don't see much changing are these three. I think Chain, Dash, and Bravo are just solid, great decks that are going to get new toys. They're going to get new ways to play, but they're not going to get a whole lot different, right? I mainly did the constructed decks. I'm not going to do the Blitz decks, Blitz heroes. I'm not going to do Shiana because that's just different, right? Mainly the constructed. But let me know what you think. Your thoughts on Everfest are. Let me know who you're excited to see get better, who you're excited to see get worse. Not excited, but like seeing if they're going to get worse, right? Who do you not see changing? Who do you think is going to stay solid no matter what? I'm really excited for the Farewell to Wraith event. I already signed up for our event at my local game store. And then I'm really excited for Everfest. Gonna get a couple boxes, crack some packs. I haven't cracked packs in a while. I've been really holding off on buying packs because I already have everything I need. And I'm just kind of saving money for Everfest. But yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want. If not me, please go to another Flesh and Blood career. Leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. Hope you all are enjoying the content. Let me know what you want to see in the new year as I'm making new videos now that I'm back full health, full strength. But yeah, thank y'all so much, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. See y'all later.